What's up YouTube? So I thought I would cover a video quickly on my pre and post workout shake. I had this requested actually in a comment, and a few other questions. I've had that in the past from clients and friends. So let's cover it. So when it comes to supplements, I like to keep things basic, bitch basic. I do think that is the best way. I do think a lot of supplement companies sometimes are selling you a lot of things that you just do not need. But in that saying, tonight what I have here on my shake, it looks like a lot, but I'll explain quickly what each does and the element and role it plays in attempts to enhance my performance in training and recovery. Because that's the key here, because the supplements need to have a purpose and they need to do something. So, first of all, we start with water. Of course it's going to be water, it's not going to be fucking milk. It's not going to be Coca-Cola and pre-workout. Well, that might work. So, more specifically, mineral water. So, while I drink a lot of tap water during the day, it's probably better off switching to mineral water, right? Now, it just so happens that it's dear for every week, so I do tap water, but specifically before training, I'll make sure I get mineral water in. So, obviously you want to get your minerals, but minerals can aid towards so much things. I mean, increased muscle contraction, increased blood flow, recovery, all sorts of gut and digestive health. There's just so much. So especially before training, I'm gonna want increased muscle contraction. I'm gonna want more blood flow and oxygen to areas. Mineral water is gonna aid towards that. So the first things first, what I take in the pre-workout shake, it's a pre-workout. Now, is it needed? No. You could take a coffee, but I've been consuming these for so long now that the caffeine doesn't really have too much of an effect on me, I don't think. But it's a mental thing, and when I don't have it, I kind of notice it when I'm dragging ass a wee bit. And especially being a father of two, I mean, I've just got the kids up to bed with my partner, and we are both in the fucking ground when that happens. I mean, it takes a lot to regain that energy, so that's why having something to pick me up straight away is good. And a finger up the bum as well, it's good as well if you're really dragging us, just get you up there, woo, and then you'll wake up. Now, the pre-workout, nothing fancy. I'm not going to give this some of the names I'm taking, right? Right, now, by the way, it's going to be about 15 grams of this. Yep. Now, the reason I'm not giving it is because I don't think it matters right now. What's more important is what I'm taking. I do sometimes go for cheap supplements as well. They do get the job done, especially when money's tight. But I'm looking for certain things in a pre-workout. So first of all, beta-alanine. So I will supplement beta-alanine usually separately, but if the pre-workout has at least 4 to 5 grams, we're doing good. Beta-alanine substitutes really well along with creatine. So creatine, as you know, water flow to the muscles. I'll explain it soon. But beta-alanine reduces your, essentially allows you to sort of work a bit longer, whereas creatine will allow you to get that rep or two with increased water. So beta-alanine, like an amino acid, works very well supplementing it. So pre-workout first. The second thing, like we've just explained, is creatine. Now, some people would say to me, why do you not take creatine after the workout? Most people do. I'll explain. So, I don't think it matters, personally. Think of creatine, right? So, creatine, its job is to increase water retention to the muscles, right? It helps the muscle cells hold more water, right? So if you're thinking about the muscle, it has 72% water. We discussed this in my previous actually video on 3 things to do before the gym, and I discussed actually the abilities around that. You can watch it in this link here. But you think about it, okay? So when you consume the creatine, you're attempting to, your goal is to get the muscle to hold more water, right? In an attempt to allow it to go further during the workout. So why not take it before the workout? Now, I get it, when after you train, protein synthesis is high, your absorption rates are high, you can absorb these kind of supplements quicker, people argue. I don't really think it makes that much of a difference. I would prefer to have it just before the workout to ensure that that's absorbed. And creatine absorbs quite quick. I mean, you're getting it in other foods as well. Okay, so the third thing, L-glutamine. Being a fan of L-glutamine for years, I always do find that when you implement L-glutamine, it works well. Now, you'll see studies online that will say that L-glutamine for bodybuilding and training isn't that great, but for other things in terms of gut digestive health, it's magic. And it is magic for that actually. So that's why bodybuilding trainers should be taking that, because you consume copious amounts of food. But It's very good for training. I do find my recovery is amped up more with L-glutamine, and it's an essential amino acid. It's actually one of the most dominant amino acids in your body. And even though your body produces it normally, sometimes it can't produce enough, and you could be running on 90% L-glutamine in your body, and it still would be looking for more. So that's why I put in more to it. Around about 5 grams, but if it hits to the 7 gram, I'm not really too fussed. The more the better. The only sort of side effect you get from L-glutamine sometimes is people say the shits. I haven't experienced that, but I know some people have. But on the caveat, you'll see some scientific studies out there saying that they haven't found any difference with muscle gains and stuff when taking L-glutamine. But I would take them trial studies with a pinch of salt. I am planning to do a video on the science study bullshit. But for now, just understand that not everything is in black and white. Okay, so something else, amino acids. So EAAs. Again, these are good during a workout. Now, I won't take too much of these. I'm literally only going to do half a serving because sometimes during my workout, intro workout, I may have one, depending on how the fatigue is, usually during a leg day. Tonight's back, so may not need it. Again, I'm just trying to encourage and promote as much chance of me absorbing the essential amino acids as possible. Small details, right? But when we get to these levels where the nutrition and training is on point and maybe you're hitting plateaus, all these details do add up. And then finally, the last one is L-arginine. Now, something I've been taking quite recently, haven't tried it all for years of my training, but L-arginine, so what does it do? Well, essentially, L-arginine converts in the body to nitric oxide, which will open up your blood flow vessels to allow more blood to travel, which is more oxygen. Now, think about bodybuilding and think about just training in general. Your goal is to get blood to the muscles. Blood flow equals nutrition flow, gets you the pump, and allows you to perform much more superior. So anything that can create that nitric oxide into the body to allow that flow to happen. Now, some studies show that, again, not much difference when you're in training aspects. When you look at it, they don't see much difference. A lot of people actually use this, I believe, for erectile dysfunction. I wouldn't know. But in terms of training, I have noticed some changes with it. I can't contradict and say it's everything, but to some degree, some things. So that is it. Essentially, I don't complicate things. Sometimes what I will do now, keep the camera there. Sometimes what I will do, depending if I'm on the movement quick, I may take pure dextrose. So before training, as I explained in the previous video, if you watch it, simple sugars, they absorb quickly. So I'm going to take a cereal after this, but something like dextrose, so fastly absorbing into the muscles, something I want before training is quite important. So sometimes I take a quarter with a pre-workout as well. I actually find personally, fuck it, I'm going to do it now. I have actually found over the early years of training doing this, I always got spectacular workouts and great pumps. So there I have it. That's the pre-workout list. And of course, after it, you shake, and then you sip. Oh, it's disgusting. I'm going to train back now, but afterwards, I'll take you through the post-workout when we're done. See you then. Okay, back from back. Now let's get this post shake on the go. Okay, so the big reveal. What is my post shake? You ready? This is my post shake. Not drinking. But in all seriousness, I do prefer to eat instead of drinking. But I understand that's not always in everyone's forte. And sometimes I will have a post shake depending on the night. So I will show you the post shake in theory. It would be obviously protein. But the most important thing isn't exactly consuming your protein after training. It may seem that way, but the most important thing is, like I've always talked about, carbohydrates, replenishing the lost glycogen. So a quick and easy way for this would be, yet again, the dextrose powder. That's probably the two most essential things I put my post shake. Maybe some amino acids as well, and the L-glutamine, but mainly carbohydrates, protein, and maybe some form of fat, maybe a spoonful of. So guys, again, I'm really trying to keep things really simple here. I mean, the goal on all these is not to overcomplicate. A protein, a carbohydrate, and some form of fats post-training is absolutely fucking perfect. That's it, really. And again, as natural lifters, you really need to be on your shit here and understand the elements of nutrition for the recovery after a workout. It's really important. I mean, it's important for anyone, enhanced or unenhanced, but as naturals, we have to use everything in our utility belt and think carefully and use them wisely, and also while not throwing your money away over really pointless stuff. So if you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe and like the video, and comment below what your favorite post-workout is, or if you want to try it. And if there's any other questions you have, please drop it below. But for the meantime, I'm Karl from the Ops Den. Have a good night.